everybody. So, driving to work, and while I was getting ready, I had two thoughts came to my mind, two different thoughts, and I wanted to share my perspective on those thoughts in this video. Now, the way God wired this whole creation thing, right? We all are unique, complex pieces that have unique perspectives, unique viewpoints, unique experience based on our unique configuration. Everybody's configured differently. It's so complex that, two people don't experience the same thing the same way. The complexity of human configuration accounts for that. So that means that everyone has something to teach everyone. And imagine if we all learned and grew together. That's what I'm about. I'm about learning, understanding, and us growing together. So, what I wanted to talk about is the lure of desire. Desire is a powerful thing. It's a good thing. In fact, you should only do what you desire. Because desire has the necessary energy, which is emotion, to achieve what is focused on, usually. So, desire, like if you desire money, for instance, people that desire money typically will do anything to get it because they have an emotional attachment. Hence the desire, right? But desire can also be dangerous, very, very dangerous. Again, for that same emotional attachment. So, the thing that separates the human from animals is reason. Because animals don't have reason, but they have desire. They desire food. They desire to mate. They desire to protect their babies. They desire a safe, comfortable place to sleep. They desire all those basal needs for safety and security. They don't have reason. Human beings have reason. Reason is, like I said, is what makes us different from animals. So you have to take your desire, it's very important that you subject your desire to reason. You have to ask yourself, why do I desire this? What will this desire do for me, or accomplishing this desire do for me? Do you know how many things could have been not done? I don't know if that's a language. Or how many disasters that could have been averted if people thought to themselves just before they did that thing, why do I desire this? What will accomplishing this desire do for me? If you desire to be a celebrity, it's still important to ask yourself, why do I desire to be a celebrity? Why? What would that do for me? Because if, for instance, you desire to be a celebrity because you are looking for validation, you're not going to get it. I mean, the kind that you really need, you're not going to get it. That stardom will not give that to you. But if you have subjected that desire to reason, then you're actually in a better position because you know, yes, I still do desire to be famous and be a celebrity, but you also understand that you're not going to get the validation that you need. Because if somebody knows how to sing and has a superstar voice, there's nothing wrong with them wanting to be on a public stage. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. They want to share their talent. They want to make as much money as they can from their talent. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But if they do now scrutinize that desire and pull it apart to look in the inside of it, to make sure that they are aware of every motive behind that desire, they set themselves up to fail, because they're going to realize when they get up there that the things that were motivating them to accomplish that desire, they're not getting. That's how you lead them to. That's how they're led to do drugs and commit suicide, because they find that stage very lonely and very hollow. Same thing with a man who's been married, invested in a relationship for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, and all of a sudden you see this other woman and you're drawn to the woman, and you don't ask yourself, why do I desire this woman? What would accomplishing my desire for this woman do for me? Reason is boring as hell. I'm gonna tell you, but that is what separates animals from human. That's what separates the man from the boy, separates the woman from the girl. You're about to eat that extra scoop of ice cream. I desire it, but should I get it? What would getting that extra scoop of ice cream do for me? Or maybe it's, people shooting up drugs or drinking alcohol or whatever it is that they desire to do. Making this video, why do I desire to put this video out there? Because I had a conversation this morning with someone, and we talked about desire, and we talked about what would that desire do for you? What would it do for you? What is it that is lacking in your life right now that you feel like that accomplishing that will add to your life? What is it? And I feel like people, because this is how people are talking about getting out of the matrix, what do you call that? Elevating consciousness and all that shit. How you think it's done? It's reason. It's reason. We can't separate reason from emotions. But at the same time, you need to subject your emotion to reason, and then subject every reason to emotion. You gotta learn empathy. It's because when people don't have empathy, that's when they do the most horrible things. Because like you're cutting off somebody's hand, and the person is crying in pain, but you don't feel their pain, so you have no empathy towards the pain they've suffered. But if you are able to put yourself in that person's shoes and ask yourself, what would I feel if someone was cutting my hand? How will I feel? That's how you develop empathy. That's how you develop empathy, when you're able to put yourself in another person's shoes. But we live in a world where the rulers of the world have no empathy. They don't. And so, getting all this elevated consciousness and all this shit, people be talking about 5D stupid shit that makes no fucking sense, because they can't actually prove with data the fucking shit they talk about half the time. This is what it is. It's rising to the level of reason, empowering your reasoning faculty. Also empowering your emotion, not allowing your emotion to rule without subjecting it to reason, and not allowing your reason to rule without subjecting it to emotion. In that way, both areas are balanced. Does that make sense?